creating mosaic artwork on wood substrates, but you aren't quite sure how to hang it on the wall? Which hanging hardware works best for your particular mosaic? And should you attach it before or after you've made your mosaic? In today's video, we'll go over 5 ways you can hang your mosaics on wood substrates, and when. Let's get to it. Welcome back, and if you're new here, my name is Julie, and on this channel we talk about tips, tricks, tools, adhesives, materials, and specific mosaic projects, all to shorten your learning curve when it comes to creating mosaic art. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please consider subscribing. Wood makes a great substrate for mosaic art. It's inexpensive, it's readily available in so many different shapes and sizes and types, and it's pretty easy to attach hanging hardware to it. I've done a video here on the channel all about how to prep your wood for mosaic, and I'll include a link down below in the description so you can check it out. You can access this information by clicking Show More underneath the video description if you're watching this on your computer. And if you're watching this on your tablet or your phone, you can click the down arrow to the right of the video title. The good news is you have multiple options as far as how you hang your mosaics that are on wood substrates. I will stress before we begin that I always try to attach the hanging hardware to my wood substrate before I even begin tiling. And oftentimes here on the channel, you'll see that I prep, I paint, and then I attach the hanging hardware. And I do this for a few different reasons. The first being you want to be able to lay your mosaic flat on your tabletop so that you can accurately get the hardware installed exactly where you want it to. And the second reason is because sometimes if you try to attach your hanging hardware after you're done with your mosaic, sometimes you can dislodge the tesserae. Whether that the mosaic didn't want to be put on its face, face down on your work table, or maybe the nail or screw that you're using for your hanging hardware went through the front and popped some pieces off. So it's always best to attach your hanging hardware first before you begin tiling. And we'll go over the different methods of your hanging hardware and which types of mosaics would work best for them. I'll include a list down below in the description for everything that I'm using in today's video in case you'd like to check them out. So in today's video, I'll go over 5 popular hanging hardware styles and how to attach them to your wood substrate. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get started. Let's get started with a very basic method. And truth be told, I've used this method before and it was the perfect solution for a hanger. And that is to hammer in nails to your substrate and then wrap your wire around them. Like I said, very basic. It costs very little money and adds a rustic feel to your mosaic. To get started, I would dip the nail in some glue like Weld Bond and then hammer it into the substrate, but not all the way. You'll want to take into consideration how thick the wire is that you'll be using. So if it's thicker wire, you'll want a little more of the nail length exposed so there's room to wrap the wire around it. Also, keep in mind that you need enough of the nail to be firmly in your substrate so that it's not able to wiggle at all. And once you've nailed in the nails, you can decide how much wire you need and wrap the ends around the wire. You can conceal the wire by wrapping all of it around the nails. Or you can cut off a longer piece of wire, wrap a bit of it around the nails to secure it, and then create curlicues or waves or just twist it at the ends. Another alternative to this method would be to use a heavyweight staple gun. So you'd staple the wire to the back of your substrate and either conceal the ends of the wire or allow the ends of the wire to be part of your artwork by curling, twisting, or adding waves. To hang your artwork on the wall, you'll attach a hanging hook or nail to the wall and then center your wire over it. Moving on, another type of hanging hardware is called a sawtooth hook or hanger. These are also pretty basic, and I use these on small, lightweight mosaic pieces. Sawtooth hooks include a metal grooved bar which is attached to your wood substrate with 2 nails. The metal bar has a small circle opening on each side of the sawtooth. I like to measure the substrate to find the center and make a small dot. Then I center the sawtooth hook over that dot and make marks in the nail openings of the hook. I use an awl to get a hole started. This is basically to keep the nail in place so it doesn't move as I'm hammering in the nails. So next I use pliers to keep the nails steady in the hole that I just started with the awl while I'm hammering it into the wood substrate. Be careful not to hammer too hard. You want the nail to go in straight to the substrate, not crooked or hammer so hard that the nail bends. Been there, done that. Then I do the same thing to the other side. If you'd like a little extra reinforcement, you could dip the tip of the nail in some glue and then hammer it into the substrate. Just make sure you're absolutely sure on where you're attaching the hardware. To hang your artwork on the wall, you'll attach a hanging hook or nail to the wall and then center the sawtooth hook on it. The next hanging method is using D-rings and wire. I like to use this method for most of my hanging pieces, especially the heavier ones. It involves attaching hooks on opposite sides of your substrate, usually in the same location, and then stringing wire through them. D-rings are available in a variety of sizes and usually come with screws as well. Not nails like the sawtooth hanger. On each side, I like to measure the substrate on the back side and mark where the hook will go. You want to make sure you position the hooks low enough so that the wire won't be seen once attached. I like to use an awl to get a hole started. And then I use the screws that came with the D-rings to secure it to the substrate. The lower you place the hooks on the back of the substrate, the more the top of the substrate will come away or lean away from your wall. So I like to place the hooks about 2 to 3 inches of the way down from the top of the substrate. And you'll want to play with this measurement depending on the size of your substrate. I found this placement balances the substrate nicely and it doesn't come away from the wall much at all. Then once you're happy with where you place the hooks, you'll want to measure out and cut some wire. I measure out how wide the substrate is and then I add an additional 4 to 5 inches for each side. Wire can come as either plain or plastic wrapped. Once you've measured out the wire, feed it through the hooks and make sure it's pretty taut. Then with the leftover wire, wrap it around the wire a number of times and secure it. Then make sure you like how the mosaic hangs and you're done. To hang your artwork on the wall, you'll want to attach a hanging hook or nail to the wall and then center the wire on it. The next hanging hardware method is an eye hook. Now these hooks work really well when you want your mosaic to hang from the top. Now as you can see here from this stained glass mosaic panel I created, I attached the eye hooks to the top of the wood frame. This allowed me to hang the mosaic with monofilament, which then allowed the light to shine through the artwork. If you're interested in watching this video on how I created a stained glass panel, I'll include a link down below in the description so you can check it out. I started by measuring about 1 inch or so away from the edge of the frame. You can place these types of hooks wherever you want on the top of your frame, but it does look best if you space them evenly. Then you can attach your wire or chain to the hooks. To hang your mosaic, you could attach another set of eye hooks or cup hooks to your ceiling or wherever you're going to hang your mosaic from, and then attach your wire or chain to them. The next hanging method is called a French cleat. French cleats work really well with all sizes of artwork, especially heavy ones, and they come in a variety of sizes or lengths and are really the fail-proof method for hanging your mosaic artwork. So French cleats come as a 2-piece set. There's the hardware which attaches to the wall and the hardware which attaches to the back of your wood substrate. And the set will also include screws and oftentimes a small level as well. Where you place your hardware on your wall is just as important as where you place the hardware on the back of your substrate, but they aren't related, if that makes sense. I like to start by attaching the hardware to the substrate. I measure the back of the substrate about 2 to 3 inches below the edge of the substrate and find the center and mark it. Then I place the center of the French cleat over the center of the marking and attach it. Next, I attach the wall hardware to the wall with the screws that came with the kit, and then I hang the substrate on the wall. Now this here is the bulletin board in my studio, and I love that it's hanging from a French cleat. As I mentioned, these French cleat kits come in a variety of lengths. If you're hanging a large, heavy-duty mosaic, you'll want to locate the studs in your wall and screw into those. But for lightweight mosaics, that's really not necessary. Question of the day, let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite hanging method for wood substrates? I would love to hear. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up as it really does help my channel, and subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell notification so you never miss a single upload, and let me know in the comments if there's something you'd like me to cover in a future video. I'll see you soon. Bye. Okie dokie. Future mosaics that are on wood tools. And the air conditioner's coming on. One sec. No. No. Yeah, short, sweet, and to the point. Okay. One moment, please. Thank you. And I have no bloopers for you today other than this. So, sorry guys. See you soon. Bye.